recalled from recess to address a subject of national interest. Where do we place Parliament in all this? Is it the weakest link in the country today?
Yes, it is the weakest link. The current Parliament is a rubber stamp for the executive. They pass any law he wants. They do anything he wants. So, yeah, we have the worst Parliament in the history of this country. And that comes back to the Kenyan people. We must elect better, because if you elect someone who will not fight for you, then you're doomed as a country. Yeah.
What would you do
if I was the president?
Yes.
If I was the president, number one, actually, you can't do without subsidies for this particular moment. But now, because you're getting money from the IMF, and IMF says if we loan you money, you can't put subsidies. But if if you had fiscal discipline and reduced unnecessary expenditure, you could actually lower the cost of living for Kenyans. But there's no fiscal discipline. That's what we lack. Yeah.
I mean,
but you know, let's talk about fiscal discipline. Actually, you mentioned something about odious debts.
Yeah.
And Kenya is servicing debts of money that was borrowed, that never came to our coffers, and the money was stolen or misappropriated. The people stole that money are known people. The money, where the money went, can be found. We need to get the people who borrowed this money to pay that money. And if that money went into their pockets, we recover that money and pay those debts.
Yeah.
Because Tata has actually been talking about odious debt. We need to find out where did this money go, because that money never came to our economy.
Bonnie, you talk about odious debt. The government is the greatest consumer of information or intelligence.
Yeah.
They know where this money came from. They know where that money ended.
Yes.
They know why that money never came to the country. Because if you look at the PFM Act, it's clear on where money that we borrow needs to end up, But for some weird reason, it is very difficult for action to be taken. Can we trust the very same people? Because this is the thing. We can't excuse President William Ruto from Eurobond that was borrowed and never ended up in the country, because he was part and parcel of that government.
Yes.
He started in the Security Council meeting. He knows everything. So that today we're talking about odious debt and that money not being here, he cannot be excused from it. Is it a question of, we know we are part of this and we will protect those who did a disservice to the Republic? And if that's the case, then what guarantees must be there through the offices, EACC, ODPP, to ensure that justice is given? So
Uhuru and Ruto are co-presidents and they're partners in crime. So anything that happened in the last 10 years, in the 10 years of Uhuru's administration, cannot be addressed by Ruto because it's part of that administration. Okay. It will only take change of government for those things to be addressed fully. And then the ODPP and the EACC, all of them are presidential appointee. Benson Triungu and Bishop, I think, Odinde are all appointees of this administration. So there's no way they're going to go after their master. So for Ruto to end up in jail, we must ensure that he's removed from power. Then we can prosecute him. And let me tell you, Ruto is going to be the first sitting president to go to jail. But he's going to likely have a cellmate, and it will be Uhuru Kenyatta.
You sound very sure of that. Why?
Because their actions as in the 10 years of Jubilee administration and now the last 3 years of UDA has been amassing wealth at the expense of Kenyans. They've actually turned the government of this country or the tax of this country in private property. For example, let's talk about avoidable housing. We continue housing levy, everyone's contributing housing levy. You go take government land, you build using government resources, then you sell that land, and you sell those houses to people. There's no transparency where this money goes, where this levy is collected goes, and when the houses are sold, where does the money go to? Like everything about that thing is a scam. SHA is a scam. NHIF was actually working. It had its own defectiveness, it had its own problems, but it was actually working. And they claimed that they removed NHF because of corruption. But it was corruption and there was problems and there was illegal claims or fraudulent claims. Why didn't you go after the criminals instead of destroying NHIF to start a parallel system that benefits your people? The government built a hospital for National Police Service next to Kenyatta Hospital. And that costs, I think, about 5 billion shillings. It has never been opened. Then you take those police and give them a private cover, and they go to a private hospital. We'll have an entire hospital for police. It does not make sense. Everything that has been done in this government in the last 3 years has been to benefit individuals. And if it's not true, they can prove me wrong. There's nothing that he has done to benefit Kenyans.
Still, and I think what creates a stirring in the spirit of many people is that who is going to bell the cat and how will this be done?